What's going on, everybody? Welcome to SocialEyes.
And today
we are reading
A
Boy Called Christmas.
Guys, remember, it's an international bestseller, and also the movie's coming out, and that's why we're reading it
As fast as we possibly can, because it's coming out on November 24th on Netflix. And we gotta hurry. There is at least 18 more chapters to go, and we are only chapter number 12. And guess what?
No, it's chapter number 13.
Chapter number 13 already?
Yeah.
That's right, we just finished number 12. Because you know what? Chapter number 12 was the end of magic. Sorry. Chapter number 12 was the end of magic. And
yeah.
actually...
And he actually said, there is no magic.
He whispered that. And the elves would be so... what? They would be so mad and sad.
Larry, look at the top. Look at the top. Are you still reading this? Good. Elves would be proud. What?
Well, we're on chapter number 13, and it is called Father Topo and Little Noosh. Ooh, who's Father Topo and Little Noosh?
They're...
Well, let's find out. You're up.
No, you're up.
All right. She's giving me the honors. Here we go. Father Topo and Little Noosh.
High five. There were voices in the dark. Said one voice. It was a strange voice. A small, fast, high-pitched, a girl voice, maybe. Atano, Loska, es Nuska Noosh. This was the second voice, was slower and deeper. It was still strange. It was almost like singing. Was he dead? Well, no, not quite. But nor was he alive. If they had found him, listen, just a minute later they would found two dead bodies. The first thing Nicholas noticed was warmth. It felt kind of warm syrup was poured onto him from the inside. He did not feel small hands pressed against his heart. But he could still hear voices. If they did sound like a million miles away. What is it? Said in the high-pitched voice, which now even more weirdly.
High five. Nicholas.
High five. Could understand perfectly as if it was his own language.
It's a boy, Noosh.
Said the other. A boy? A boy? But he's better than you, Grandpa.
That's because he's a special kind of boy.
A special kind? What kind?
He's a human.
The deeper voice said, carefully. There was a grass. A human? Will he eat us? No. Should we run away?
It's perfectly safe, I'm sure. And even if it's not, we must never let fear be our guide. Yes, human ears can take a lot of getting used to.
What happened to?
Come on, Little Noosh. We mustn't think of that. We must always help those who are in trouble, even if they are human.
He looks terrible.
Yes, he does. That is why we must do everything we can, Noosh.
Is it working?
Yes, a degree of worry rose up in the voice. I believe it is, and on the reindeer too.
Blitzen woke up and slowly rolled over, taking his weight off Nicholas, whose eyes were now blinking awake. Nicholas gasped. For a moment he didn't know where he was. Then he saw two creatures and gasped again, because what you do if you see elves.
High five.
High five.
just want to read it. Okay, keep going.
The elves high five.
High five. The elves were both quite short, as elves tend to be, although one was taller than the other. Nicholas could see the smaller one was a girl elf. She had black hair and skin whiter than the snow, and sharp cheeks and pointed ears and large eyes slightly too far apart. She was wearing a dark green-brown tunic that didn't look very warm, but she didn't seem to be cold. The older and bigger elf was wearing a similar colored tunic and a red belt. He had a long white mustache and white hair and serious but kind look about him. His eyes twinkled like morning frost in sunshine. "Who are you?" asked Nicholas, but really he meant what rather than who. "I am Little Noosh," said Little Noosh. "What's your name?" "I'm Nicholas."
Oh, poop. Look, I think that's Little Noosh right there. Right there. That's a Little Noosh.
It's a little elf with black hair and white. Oh, cool. "And I'm Father Topo, Noosh's grandpapa." And the other elf, who was looking around him to see if anyone was watching, "Well, great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, if we're being specific. We are elves." "Elves? Am I dead?" said Nicholas, which was a bit of a silly question, as for the first time in weeks he could feel warmth flooding through his veins and excitement rising in his chest. "No, you're not dead," said Father Topo. "Despite your best efforts, you are very much alive, thanks to the goodness we have found inside you." That could be my Father Topo voice. "Thanks to the goodness we have found inside you." Nicholas was confused. But I don't feel cold or weak." "Grandpa worked a little magic," said Noosh. "Magic? A little Drimwick." "Drimwick? What is that?" Little Noosh looked at Nicholas and then at her grandpa and back at Nicholas again. "You don't know what a Drimwick is?" she said. Father Topo looked down at the little elf girl. "He's from another side of the mountain. There's not much magic where humans come from." He smiled at Nicholas and Blitzen. "A Drimwick is a hope spell. You just close your eyes and wish for something, and if you wish in just the right kind of way, you can make it happen. It's one of the easiest spells laid out in the first book of Hope and Wonder. That's an elf book about magic. I put my hand on you and reindeer friend, and I wished you to be warm and to be strong and to be always safe." There we go.
Always safe? Nicholas, confused, and Blitzen licked his ear. That's impossible. Little Noosh gasped as Father Topo covered her ears. "Elves never say that. Elves never say that word."
Impossible.
He shook his head. "An impossibility. It's just possibly you don't understand yet. But now you must leave Elfham," said Father Topo. "And you must leave quickly." "Elfham? The elf village?" "But Nicholas, I'm not even here." Little Noosh laughed a long elf laugh, which was very long indeed. Father Topo gave her a stern look. "What's so funny?" Thinking that even if you had saved someone's life, it was still rather rude to laugh at them. "You're standing on the street of 7 curves," giggled little Noosh.
High five. What? This isn't a street. It's the middle of nowhere. There's just snow and sort of colors. Little Noosh looked at Father Topo. Tell him, Grandpa. Tell him. Father Topo looked around to check no one was watching and quickly explained. This is the longest street in Elfham. We are in southeast corner of the village. The street winds westward all the way to the wooded hills beyond the fringes of the villages. Wooded hills? Asked Nicholas. But I can't see anything, just colors in the air. And over there is Silver Lake, and the reindeer field, and all the shops on Reindeer Field Street, said little Noosh, jumping up and down and pointing to the north. Lake? What lake? And there's Elfham Village Hall, she said, pointing to the opposite direction, to nothing in particular. Nicholas didn't understand. He stood up. What are you talking about? Is he blind? Said little Noosh. Father Topo looked at Nicholas, then a little Noosh. Very quietly said, to see something, you have to believe in it. Really believe. That's the first elf rule. You can't see something you don't believe in. Now try your hardest and see if you can see what you have been looking for. It's a picture of a mountain with some trees, and they really don't see anything yet. But I bet you once he gets his belief, he's going to see anything.
Because he literally said there is no such thing as magic.
Well, that's it for chapter number 13. What did you think about that chapter? Who did we meet in that chapter?
Little Noosh and Father Topo.
That's right. Little Noosh and Father Topo. And who do you like better, Little Noosh or Father Topo? Any favorite?
Father Topo, he looks weird, but he has a kind heart.
Yeah, but he's very brilliant. He has lots of wisdom. I think Father Topo has the best.
I like Father Topo more than Little Noosh because he laughed at Nicholas.
Yeah, Little Noosh is like always a kid. He's a little kid. He's probably old though, because elves live hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. But Father Topo has the best quotes. I love that quote about believing. There
was this kid whose name, I don't remember the name, but he she was 400 years old.
Wow. Who? 400 years old? And is this in another book?
No.
That you read?
It's in a movie.
Oh, it's in a movie. 400 years old. That's from Elf the movie. It's probably one of the elves. No? So, that's the end of that chapter. What an amazing chapter. Again, like I've said many a times, that chapter definitely I want to see the movie because of that chapter. I want to see the colors in the sky, and I want to see what the elves look like in the movie. And you know what I really want to see? I want to see Blitzen lying on top of Nicholas. Squishing him. Help me! Alright guys, we are done this chapter. We will see you guys in the next chapter.